Howdy there, folks. A couple nights ago, I watched Men in Black 3. I watched it Friday night, midnight showing, so I guess technically Saturday morning. I was quite surprised that I saw this on opening night, but the opportunity presented itself, and I took it, as I always do. I enjoyed it. I want to give it a 7. Part of me feels that that is too generous. That maybe 6 might be more along the line, but then I think that's too low. I don't know, 6.5. I hate giving halves, but I think it's a 6. You know, maybe a 7. I'll try and justify that. Men in Black 3 is the third Men in Black movie. I heard it referenced as the sequel nobody asked for, which is pretty true. I thought Men in Black was great. I loved that. I own that on DVD. I thought Men in Black 2 was terrible. For the longest time, I used Men in Black 2 as the bad movie. Is it worse than Men in Black 2? This is much, much better than Men in Black 2, but not as good as Men in Black. It really just had this nostalgic feel to it, and I was basically just so happy, one, to see Barry Sonnenfeld make another film. I can't remember if Barry Sonnenfeld has done a film since Men in Black 2. I know he's done some television work, but another film, I'm not sure. So I was just happy to see his name back up there. He's got a distinctive style. He started his career as a cinematographer for the Coen brothers. I think, coming up with them, could only help. I feel that he has that kind of pacing that the Coen brothers use. I just always considered him a contemporary of the Coen brothers, of Tim Burton. Maybe to a lesser extent, Joe Dante. I think Joe Dante is older than the 3 of those names I've mentioned, but Barry Sonnenfeld came up around the same time, but just is nowhere near as prolific. It's about, let's see here, there's a prison break on the moon. A last surviving member of a species escapes, travels back in time so that he can right the wrong that put him in prison, the event that put him in prison. So he travels back in time to kill the young Kay, the young Tommy Lee Jones, and succeeds in doing so. So Will Smith must travel back in time to save his partner. Wow. I'm running out of time already. I don't know what's going on with my camera. I enjoyed the film. I had a lot of fun. It had a very nostalgic feel to it. The only problem I had with it is, at a few points, like 3 or 4 times, like in my head, I just went, what? It seemed to, when it needed to, take its characters anywhere and do anything, and I think it lost track of the characters it had. One, I think the bad guy, like, even though there were 2 of them, died several times, and I wasn't sure what was going on there. There were a couple scenes where characters died, and then in the next scene were, like, back to life, And they weren't like dying as like slipping into unconsciousness. They exploded and then were like back and living, which I guess might be their alien ability. I enjoyed the film. I thought all the acting was really good. I could have used more Tommy Lee Jones. It's mostly Josh Brolin who is doing a Tommy Lee Jones impression as the young K. He's really good at it, so that's fine. So it's like watching Tommy Lee Jones, but not. Emma Thompson's in it. She's really good. She's always good. Her character is very underused, and again, one of those things where it's like you think a plot's going to go somewhere, but nothing ever, happens with it. Jermaine Clement from The Flight of the Conchords is the bad guy. I really can't tell. The bad guy is buried under, so much makeup, special effects. Even his eyes are hidden. I was kind of wondering why they did that. So basically, the only thing he has to act with is his mouth, and he still tries to pull it off. Scene-stealing cameo, because he was born to steal scenes, from Bill Hader playing Andy Warhol, who is a undercover MIB agent. He's really good. Mostly I just had fun. I thought the special effects were really good. There's a lot of aliens, especially retro aliens from other films that you might recognize. So it just is a lot of fun, and there were a few times where my brain was just trying to find some justification. Again, like, they just leap. They cover mass distances in no time, in like zero time. It reminded me a lot of the problems with Sherlock Holmes 2, A Game of Shadows, where you have this fine film, but it just at certain points, whenever the writing needed it, they just are there, and there's just no traveling or whatever. Speaking of the writing, this is written by Ethan Coen. Ethan Coen, I'm not sure of his film work, but he is producer and wrote a bulk of the series of King of the Hill. So I think King of the Hill is one of the great television shows of all time. So you've got like a main voice of the King of the Hill writing the film. So it's got this, great dialogue, very casual, relaxed, just as you might think of the King of the Hill. Kind of slow-moving conversations that lead up to, a humorous payoff. So the writing is there. Mostly. But when the action sequences happen, it's like, maybe he didn't quite know how to write an action sequence. I don't know. It was just good to see Barry Sonnenfeld back. The film looked really good. Great special effects. Well acted. Good music from Danny Elfman. Really good music, actually. Even like the Source soundtrack used like not obvious hits for the the retro flashback. So I enjoyed that. I think I got to give it a 7. It was just great entertainment. There was an applause after the film, so the crowd really enjoyed it. It was a good time. It was a good time and intelligent, very heartfelt, again, nostalgic. But at times it just, if it needed to be done, it got done, no matter if it made any sense. And sometimes the characters, again, it's like they lose track. I think just because it's kind of publicized, this film was like written as it was filmed. They didn't start with a script. They started with like an idea and kind of built on top of that. So maybe it's along the point, somebody got confused. That would be a pretty hard job for the script supervisor to keep everything straight if there is no script. If they are writing the script as they go, that could be a problem. But anyway, I had a fun time, and I guess that's what it's all about during the summer movie season. And yeah, it's pretty good. So that's Men in Black 3. I guess I'll give it a 7. I can't, when I think, because that's my cutoff, when I give it a 6, that's a thumbs down, and I can't give it a thumbs down, you know, I just can't. So I've got to give it a 7. So that's Men in Black 3. Thanks very much.